Hello everyone, welcome back again. So in this video we are going to discuss about the disadvantages of grapevine communication, and in the earlier video of this series we have learned about the advantages of grapevine communication. So if you haven't checked yet, so please go and watch it. So let's begin today's video without wasting any time. So the very first disadvantage of grapevine communication is in your screen right now. So here you can clearly see, you can clearly learn from this slide that there are several disadvantages of grapevine communication can be. First of all, just to remind you, I just wanted to give you a very small definition of grapevine communication. So I hope you know very well that grapevine communication is a kind of informal communication. So this informal communication always exists in any kind of formal communication or the organization or the companies or anywhere. Means it is meant to be very much necessary that there will be a grapevine communication at your workplace. So grapevine communication is the kind of informal communication where the communication goes with very ease. It flows very effortlessly. So that is why it is very much necessary to have grapevine communication in any organization, because it just make the workplace better and better, right? It is quite flexible in nature. So that is why it is very important to be there at any workplace, right? So earlier we have discussed that the advantages of grapevine communication, right? And right now we will be going to discuss the disadvantages of grapevine communication. So the very first disadvantage of grapevine communication is distortion of information intentionally or unintentionally. So first of all, let me make it very much clear that everything has the pros and cons, right? Similar in the similar way, grapevine communication has its own advantage as well as the disadvantage. So here in this video we are going to focus on the disadvantages only. So we are saying that if we are using grapevine communication in not in a proper way, right? Means we are not utilizing it, instead of we are just making a misuse of it, right? We are just taking wrong benefits of it, then it is going to be disadvantages in nature. So the very first disadvantage right now, that is written in your screen right now. So the very first one is a distortion of information intentionally or unintentionally. There are two things, like if we are using grapevine communication excessively, right? So we can here the possibility is that we can distort the information. Distortion of information means the change of information. So distortion means the change in information, right? Means the change in information occur when we use excessive grapevine communication, or this change can be because of the intention or unintention, right? Means someone intentionally do it because there are lot of channels in this grapevine communication where we from where we receive so much of communication, where we receive as well as transfer so much of communication. So it can be done intentionally or unintentionally, right? So the next one is it affects productivity of a company, right? It is very much understandable that if we are misusing the channel of grapevine communication, if we are excessively misleading information we are passing through the mediums of grapevine communication, then definitely it is going to affect the productivity of a company. So let's take an example, like as we know that grapevine communication is quite flexible in nature. It gives us the opportunity as well as the flexibility that we can communicate to each and every one without having any kind of hierarchy. Like we just have to be a very strong interpersonal relationship with each other. If we are having a good interpersonal relationship, then definitely we are going to communicate each and every sort of information to one another. So here it is saying that if you are using this flexibility in a wrong way, like you are just wasting your time in gossiping, you are just wasting your time in planning and plotting in a negative manner, or as well as you are doing gossiping regarding your work, your colleagues, or so many other things. You are giving wrong information, passing out the improper information to one another. So then it is totally going to affect the productivity of a company, right? So the productivity of a company here means the growth of a company. If you are using Grapevine communication in a wrong manner, so it is going to hamper the growth of your company, the growth of your workplace wherever you are working. So that is why it is very much evident that if we are using it in a good manner, so the outcomes will be good, and if you are using in a wrong manner, then the outcomes will be is going to be have negative effect on our company, as well as to our personal as well as professional growth. Third one is not reliable. So here it is clearly written that we cannot very much rely on the information we are getting from the Grapevine channels. Not reliable. We can the information which comes to us from the Grapevine sources, that are not so much worthy, that are not so much reliable, like we can trust them evidently, right? So not reliable is the another disadvantage. Next one is wastage of time. As we know, the channels are quite flexible in nature, so there are very higher chances that the people are going to waste their precious time in gossiping, or just sitting idly and just sitting idle in manner, as well as letting other people's down, whatever means they are quite disattracted from their work, we can say like this. So there is so much wastage of time if you are using excessive Grapevine communication. See, every communication, to make every communication better, we need some kind of limitation. If you are crossing our limitation, then definitely that communication is not going to be helpful for us. Next one is lack of secrecy. As we know, there are various sources of communication, mediums of communication, this Grapevine communication. There is no hierarchy, there is no limitation. This communication is purely based on the interpersonal relationship. So there the information whatever we passes from one to other person, that the information has the terror of leaking the secrecy, right? So there is means we can say that with the mode of Grapevine communication, we cannot share our information, share our very secretive or qualitative information to other people, because there are higher chances that your secretive information is going to be leaked, right? So we have to be very much aware when we are sharing our confidential information to other people while using especially Grapevine communication. Next one is difficulty in controlling. This is the major disadvantage of Grapevine communication. As we know it very well that the another name of Grapevine communication is rumor mill, right? Rumor. How does a rumor spread? So if in any organization there are this Grapevine communication exists, and for the this Grapevine communication there is no limitation has been bounded, right? There is no one to control this Grapevine communication. There are no rules and regulations to control this Grapevine communication. So if this communication goes out of control, then definitely these disadvantages is going to be seen quite often, right? And it is going to hamper the growth of the organization, the growth of the personal individual as well as their professional outcome. So once it is out of control, once, like for example, if some kind of misleading information is spread through this grapevine mode, then it is out of control. One person is going to tell another person, then another to, then another person. So in this way the wrong information or the misleading information is going to be spread. So in this manner we can say that it is very much difficult to control, right? So these are the some disadvantages of grapevine communication. I hope it is very much clear to each and every one. So in this way this topic of grapevine communication has been completed. So in the next video we are going to continue with our communication series with a new topic. So stay tuned. If you found any problem, please let me know. Thank you so much for your listening.